I'm Kyle Helsper. I own Endurance Tattoo in lovely Greenwood, Indiana. Tattooing has its own history, and it's woven into the history of most cultures. Most cultures have some marking tradition, really. If you go back far enough. It's not popular these days to not be very collectivist about everything, but we are not that way naturally. We are very. When it comes down to it, we're very tribal, very exclusionary and exclusive to other people. That's just the way our brains are wired. It's a survival thing. So I think that sometimes it's to set us versus them, to set yourself apart from other people. I mean, as long as there's been people, we've been doing this. They found that Iceman, that mummy that had been frozen. He had tattoos on his skin. They checked out the bones and everything, and they think it was places where he had injuries, stuff. It was like magic, I've been working in tattoo shops since '96. You have these TV shows where everybody's trying to make something out of this that it's not. Put a whole, art fag spin on tattooing and sensationalize it and make it deeper than, you know what I mean? Like, everything's got to have a fucking backstory, and every person's got it. This has got to be some symbol of personal triumph for this fucking guy or whatever. But it's bullshit, man. And there's really two different types of tattooers. There's the art school, and then there's the tradesman side, which is kind of where I fall. I'm not an art school kid. My tattoo philosophy, I'm a very blue collar tattooer, man. I'm not ironic. I'm not a fucking hipster. Doing this tattoo doesn't bring me some artistic, it doesn't bring me this joy, this artistic joy. Like, man, I like making stuff for people that they like. It doesn't have to be what I like. I'm not a snob about the type of tattooing I do. A lot of people only want to do this one thing, and it's kind of the art school kids, They only want to do their art. They only want to do this and that. You want a barbed wire armband? Sit down. You know what I mean? Let's do that shit. Oh, you want some jock tribal on your arm with the fucking Bible verse underneath it? Yeah, let's do that shit. I'm all about it. Let's do it. You know why? Because they're stoked. I had a personal tragedy that kind of fucked me up and sidelined me for a long time. And this coming here was like kind of part of just trying to like something positive in my life at the time. I had a son that died in 2006, and it was pretty fucking brutal. It wasn't like not to say that any death is less tragic than another death, but he was a baby, and he when he died, we were all alone, and I was giving him CPR. It was fucked up, and it fucked me up in my, it basically broke me almost completely down. So, and I was kind of fucking crazy after that. Like, couldn't sleep. I was fucking just replaying the shit in my head. Started drinking a lot. Just really self-destructive. You hear this cliche about Jiu-Jitsu saving people's life. Like, Jiu-Jitsu saved my life. Like, it fucking literally did for me, because what life I was leading at that point was not a life, man, really. It was just this fucked up existence, So, basically I'd hit rock bottom personally, and, personal relationships started to suffer, like I had friends that fucking just checked out because it wasn't fun to be my friend anymore because I was fucking insane, I had some friends that stuck around, but, a lot of people just stopped talking to me or turned on me or whatnot during that time. And looking back, I don't blame them because I was fucking insane. This place helped restart things for me and helped me rebuild myself. But man, at that point in my life, I was just beaten down, and blame myself. I wasn't able to save him. You know what I mean? So blame myself, wanted to fucking suck on a bullet every fucking day of my life. Every day of my life, I would, for months and months, man, I would just like, man, I fucking want to blow my fucking brains out, And I felt like I deserved it because, I failed him as a dad, like I couldn't save him. So it was pretty torturous, man. It kind of fucked me up. And I just didn't have, at that point in my life, man, I don't know if I had the tools to deal with it, well. But this place helped me find myself again, James is the most probably mentally strong person I've ever fucking been around. Being around James and training here and just coming in and doing it kind of helped me rebuild my manhood again. You know what I mean? James got shot in the face. So to see the adversity that he overcame, and he doesn't fucking complain, he doesn't whinge about anything, he just soldiers through it, it was inspirational for me, and it changed me training here and being a part of this team. So it's about the jiu-jitsu, but it's about other things too, being here, being a part of this team, being a part of this tribe, being around other men who are climbing that ladder of strength is important, and I found my purpose again coming here. So the first kind of traditional martial art that I ever studied outside of wrestling was Sambo. It's kind of like judo with leg locks. All this nasty shit that you could not do in wrestling, like choke people and lock their joints and all these things, was you could not only do it, but it was encouraged. It was the goal. So I was like, fuck, I don't think I'm going to wrestle. I think I want to do this. When I left Denver in 2001, returned to Indianapolis, bounced around for 6 or 8 months, probably without a place to train. And then I ran into a guy at a gym that was doing MMA at the time. And this was before MMA was big. It was still like, he called it NHB, Knowles Bar Fighting, training with these guys, integrated fighting. I started training with integrated, started learning some catch wrestling and submission fighting, and did a little bit of that through like 2005, off and on. I still like to punch people in the face and get punched in the face. And here I like to spar sometimes. I don't do it that often, but I like the grappling end of it a lot. That was something I always gravitated towards. I was never, I wasn't a Taekwondo guy or a kickboxing guy that came in, I was a grappler first and foremost. So that was always what that's what I'm more suited for. That's just what I gravitate towards. I think that doing anything physical is good. If someone was like, I want to do martial arts, but, there's this Tai Chi place down the street from me, go fucking do it. You know what I mean? It's not going to save you from getting your ass kicked in the street, probably. I would say get involved in any martial art, but let it funnel you to jiu-jitsu. When I was a young man, I was an angry young man, got in a lot of street fights. I don't do that so much anymore, but when I was young, I got in a lot of street fights. So I know what works and what doesn't work. And, a lot of people are so far removed from violence that they have no real idea about what goes on in a fight. They see choreographed movie fights. They watch MMA, they watch the UFC from their couch, drinking a beer or whatever. And they think they have an idea about what they would do in a fight and how violence goes down. But, a lot of people have never even been in a fight. Never been attacked, much less attacked anybody, so people have this disconnect from violence. It's not always about, you insulted my honor, now we're going to fight in the street. It's very often if you're assaulted, if you're attacked, if something happens, it's often about survival. It's often about not being a victim. So I think jiu-jitsu gives you the best real world set of tools to live another day, for sure. We practice killing each other in here every day. We make each other harder to kill, and it's fucking beautiful. People apply this morality to violence that is not rooted in the real world. It's not rooted in reality. It's purely theoretical. People, especially these days, everyone lives in this, technology-driven bubble, where you can say whatever the fuck you want to people. You have equal rights for everyone. I can't be attacked because it triggers me. And, all this bullshit that they feed you in society, it's a complete illusion. It's completely detached from nature. It's completely detached from the real world. And most people have zero relationship with violence at all. But it doesn't mean violence doesn't exist. And just because you bury your head in the sand about it doesn't mean it can't come to you. Violence is a natural part of life, you know, and that might be a bummer for a lot of people, but, you know, you got to get over it, because having a relationship with violence actually gives you a better appreciation for life and peace. Having a relationship with violence makes you critical of your police forces, your government, you know, the people that you employ to do violence on your behalf. Because just because you have no relationship with violence doesn't mean it's not done on your behalf. Violence is necessary. It's the gold standard. Violence is the or else what, you know. And it's better to have a relationship with it and speak the language than to be completely unaware and caught off guard. Everything's backed up by violence, you know. Don't beat your wife. Or else what? Or else men with guns are going to come to your house and fucking pull you out of it and put you in jail. You know what I mean? Don't attack my kid. Or else what? Or else I'm going to fucking smash your head in the ground. Or I'm going to break your arms. I'm going to make it where you never are able to touch my kid again. Violence keeps bad people in check.